Chapter 7, Calligraphy. The week transitioned from going at a snail's pace to passing like a blink. Time is so funny that way. We oscillated between time at home and time going out to closer local spots. We went out to the bluff most days, walking along the broken pavement. There was an old 4x4 road that local fishermen still used to get out to the coast.
Get out, shout out.
To get to the coast. Yeah, get out to the coast. There was a longer trail to a beach with turtles, but each day we intended to do it somehow we got diverted. Still, we wandered along the ironwood trees and hollows. The landscape was forest all the way up to the bluff where the lava rock was reminiscent of the broken pavement, smooth pahoehoe, a type of lava that is so hot it looks like a river and then cools in that ropey tube-looking form, like the peel-back version of the red vine's licorice. I liked the wildness here. There were loads of coconuts sprouting up along the lava rock, somehow finding roots. There were a few small tide pools along the coast we could use to get wet. Nothing much of a real swim, but with Lanny, it was fun for a bit. We also took him to the local pool with the toddler spray area. I liked watching him let the streams of water run into his hands as he sat there and focused on it, mesmerized. Mom liked to take us to a local labyrinth or mini maze made of local flora and fauna. Some folks in the community had kept it up for over 20 years. Adults were curious with what they chose to create and put their attention on. The labyrinth was meant as a place to connect and consider life paths. Mom liked that aspect, and we always brought an offering for it, like an altar, but much of the time when our crew went and no one else was there, it turned into an impossible new form of tag. We played soccer at home in the yard, battled with Mom about screen use, and waited for Grandma to arrive. Thin but strong, Grandma Diane waved to us from the curb. It was a little too vigorous considering the Hilo airport is tiny and we wouldn't have missed her if we tried. Still, it indicated how excited she was to see us, which made me happy. Grandma Diane was a bit more slow and dignified in her manner compared to Mimi, the grandma we lived with, so I liked seeing her exuberance. I also liked her more subdued way. She would sit with us and focus on a craft or reading. Mimi would never. She was always doing. Aloha, Mom said it in a country accent of the place Grandma was coming from, Utah. She was so silly at times. Aloha. Mom liked to act like it was Grandma's first time to Hawaii every time she came. We had managed to make a loose lei of white plumeria. The flowers were a bit brown on the edges, a little bedraggled, but the response was welcoming. Well, thank you so much. Mahalo, Grandma had to remind herself of the common language here. She gave us all one hug. You smell like Utah, River stated. It was something we all said more frequently than we realized. We loved our trips up to Utah, and somehow the smell of the high desert stayed with us through the years. How's it been? What have you all gotten up to so far for break? Tell her, guys, Mom suggested. What have we been doing? River cut straight to the details. We are hunting a mystery. Hunting a mystery? It took us most of the ride home to fill Grandma in about finding the list, the day of Menehune, and Keanakolu. Wow, that all sounds very mysterious indeed. I hope I can be a helpful clue hunter. I can't wait to take you up there, Mom. I sure love it. And I know you'll love the cooler temperatures up there. I've never been when the orchard is fruiting. I think the kids will love it. Well, when do we go? Asked Grandma. Friday, Mom stated.
Can you pause for a second?
Yeah. 3 days. What do we do beforehand? Mom looked at her. Prep. Ah, right. What will we need to do, Mom? I asked. Mom rattled out the list. It was a reclusive camper's cabin, no drinking water, uncertain amounts of firewood, no stove or fridge. Luckily, this time around, we have Jason, Mom said. Her ex was an avid outdoorsman, though since Aslan was born, this had been subdued, like was the case with most new parents. Ah, that's right. Is Jazzy coming? Yep. Mom prided herself on being able to love and accept exes and partners of exes and basically just everyone. Grandma wriggled in an almost indiscernible amount of discomfort. Well, I came to help, so it sounds like there's plenty of room for that. Yes, but mostly just attending to the kids will be the biggest help. I wanted you to pass on as many skills as possible. Mom had asked Grandma to bring all the things she used to do as a kid: cross stitch, needlepoint, sewing, crochet, and calligraphy. What's calligraphy? Asked River. Don't you have some pens, Azure? Mom asked. My stomach tightened. I couldn't quite say where they were, but at some point I had gotten a small set and Mom had shown me instructions on YouTube. It had probably devolved into a binge of YouTube shorts. Grandma rescued me. Calligraphy is a practice of penmanship and lettering with special pens that have different cut points to help you do it. I brought a new set of markers and pens. River, maybe you could write your letter to Obasan with them, Mom shared encouragingly. It was the first thing we did when we got back. River could be all over the place, but when something grabbed her attention, she was very one-pointed focus. Grandma had brought special paper with purposely torn edges and a papyrus feel, the little flecks of the tree it had been made with. She even had a couple of pens with feathers on the end. I love this, Grandma. Thank you, I shared. Of course, Bear. Are you joining? She questioned. Sure. With Grandma's presence, Bear seemed more interested than usual. Grandma showed us the special strokes and how to hold each point for the stroke you wanted. It was all very detailed and painstaking. So this is how people used to write all their letters? Bear asked. Well, not all of them. But if you wanted a professional document or if it was of a greater manner of importance, it was definitely used. And usually with
Did you say manner of importance?
Yeah.
Matter.
Wow. Now we just changed the font on the computer, noted Bear. Yes, it's a very different time from back then, sighed Grandma.
Wait, did you finish that? And
This is probably how the kids from that school wrote their letters. Mom.
wait, sorry.
Well, not all of them. But if you wanted a professional document, or if it was a matter of greater importance, it was definitely used. And usually with ink you had to dip into. Wow. Now we just changed the font on the computer, noted Bear. Yes, it's a very different time from back then, sighed Grandma. This is probably how the kids from that school wrote their letters. Punctuation. Mom, why do you have to bring that up? Death made me uncomfortable. Well, I just wanted to illustrate how long ago it was. Before there were computers and word processors, the slower pace of writing letters was how it was generally. People took more time to do and be. There was an air of longing in her tone. What is this? Kids who died? Grandma queried. Yes, there was a tidal wave, and then another much bigger. Some kids drowned and some got pushed out to sea and then rescued. Some were still on a bus. Most of the teachers died and even babies were there. River had Googled it when we got back. Her recounting was quick and exact.
Will you pause?
How sad, remarked Grandma. I'm sure some of the people who survived are still alive. Yes. Did you include that in your letter to Obasan, River? Oh, yeah, River exclaimed, refocusing on her letter to Obasan. What are you writing, Bear? Bear held his up. He had chosen to do all the fancy capital forms of the letters. It read, clues. Whale tail, fish tail, palm tree, hook, spray, clap, asunder, write a book. Kiana Kolu. You forgot it's more than you think, I mumbled to Bear. He shrugged. I would not have left that part out. Every shred of evidence was important. Still, it looked amazing. With the flaxen paper and old print, the effect made me curious about this actual mystery. It could be nothing but child's play at the park, but any treasure hunt was fun. And I was dying to see if there were really any actual clues at Kiana Colvin.